After a baby arrives, many couples find a subtle distance creeping into their relationship. It's totally normal, and understanding what's happening, what it looks like, and how to deal with it can really help. Disclaimer: Thecradlehush provides information on newborn care, safe sleep, and postpartum adjustments for new parents. This content is not a substitute for professional medical advice. Always consult your pediatrician for guidance specific to your child. I am Flora, representing Thecradlehush. Sure, the affection between partners usually sticks around, but the whole relationship dynamic often shifts after childbirth in ways that are surprisingly hard to put into words. We spend so much time getting ready for baby care, but way less on how our marriage will change during this huge new phase. It turns out this relationship shift is super common, but hardly anyone talks about it when you're becoming new parents. Before baby, couples often get plenty of rest, time, and personal space. After, well, you're pretty much running on empty, dedicating yourselves to keeping a tiny, completely dependent human alive, often with practically no sleep. Mums, you're often navigating physical recovery, wild hormonal swings, and feeling like your old self has gone on vacation. Meanwhile, partners often want to help but don't quite know how to, mainly because they're experiencing this whole postpartum thing very differently. This relationship adjustment is a normal, albeit tough phase, and it usually doesn't last forever. So, what does this distance look like? Spotting these common patterns can make you feel a lot less alone. Unequal mental load. One person often ends up holding the mental whiteboard, managing all the household logistics and baby stuff, feeding schedules, appointments, supplies, you name it. And a lot of that effort can go completely unnoticed by the other partner. It's not about who loves the baby more. It's just that these tasks are invisible until someone points them out. Reduced physical intimacy. After all that intense physical contact and round-the-clock caregiving for a baby, a parent might just not have any capacity left for more physical closeness with their partner. This is a common response, not something to feel guilty about. Touch that used to be easy now feels like another chore for an already exhausted body. Conversations often get stuck on logistics. Feeding times, schedules, appointments, your relationship can start feeling less like a partnership and more like a shared project, mostly because there's simply no time left for anything else. It's pretty common to suddenly realize you've been talking about nothing but the baby for ages, divergent coping mechanisms. One partner might need to talk things out, while the other might prefer quiet reflection or just jumping straight to fixing the problem. Neither approach is wrong, but knowing this about each other is key. It stops misunderstandings, like thinking someone's silence means they don't care, or that their talking means they're just complaining. Subtle emotional isolation. Partners can feel like they're carrying all their burdens alone, even when they're right next to each other. This kind of loneliness is really hard to put into words, but so many new parents feel it. It's easy to misunderstand each other's actions. For example, one partner might give the other space to rest, which then gets interpreted as emotional distance. Conversely, someone needing to withdraw to cope might be seen by their partner as a sign of trouble. These moments are often just about trying to survive a challenging time, not a relationship failing, but rather a missed chance to actually talk about what you need. Let's look at some better ways to talk. Instead of "you never help with anything," try something like, "I've been juggling all the feeding schedules and appointments in my head, and I'm totally wiped out. Could we split these tracking duties this week?" Shifting from an accusation to a specific, shared request usually gets a better conversation going. Similarly, instead of pulling away and hoping your partner somehow senses you're struggling, direct communication works wonders. Try, "I'm having a really rough night. I don't need you to fix it, but 5 minutes of just being here with me would really help." Clear, honest statements work way better than silent brooding or a full-blown argument. Now, Let's talk about some practical ways to tackle this together. Explicitly define the mental load. A quick 10-minute chat to list out your weekly responsibilities can make that invisible burden visible, helping both of you objectively see who's actually doing what. Seeing it on paper is often more powerful than just arguing about fairness. Establish a brief, consistent shared ritual. Big date nights? Forget about those right now. They're often impossible. Instead, dedicating 10 quiet minutes after the baby's down to chat about your day's wins and losses can be gold. Little, steady efforts often beat big, rare ones. Figure out each other's stress responses. If one of you needs to process things out loud while the other needs a moment of quiet first, knowing this ahead of time can save a lot of arguments. A simple phrase like, "I need a few minutes before I can talk about this," can stop someone from thinking you're quiet means you don't care. If any of this hits home, please share your challenges in the comments section. I will respond thoughtfully. Liking and subscribing to the video will help other new parents find it. To keep going, specific requests are always more effective than vague pleas. For example, "Could you manage the early wake-up so I can actually rest?" is way more impactful than just a general, "I need help." Precise requests are clearer and way easier to act on. Stop keeping comparative scorekeeping, counting who's more tired, who did more, or who sacrificed what might feel fair in the moment, but it slowly eats away at your connection over time. Instead of who's doing more, try focusing on what needs doing right now. This tiny shift in how you talk can make a huge difference. Protect brief periods of individual respite. Even 5 quiet minutes to yourself. A quick shower, a short walk, or some music can refill your tank and make you a better partner. It's not selfish. It's how you keep from completely burning out. Cultivate opportunities for light-hearted interaction. Laughing together over the small stuff, even when things are crazy, can really bring you closer, more than you'd expect. Don't force it, but when you do find a moment to laugh, really lean into it. To partners directly, the biggest impact often isn't a grand gesture, but rather just noticing the small, unprompted tasks your partner does and saying something like, "I see everything you're doing right now, and I really appreciate it." That one sincere statement can be more effective than endless attempts to fix every issue. Regularly ask, "How are we doing?" instead of only focusing on the baby. This seemingly small practice actually helps you catch any distance early, instead of suddenly realizing you're miles apart. It's also really important to understand that this relationship, distance isn't forever. Most couples find things slowly get better as sleep improves. Routines settle and they start feeling like themselves again, both individually and as a couple. It's rarely instant, more like a slow climb, bit by bit, over weeks and months. These relationship shifts we've talked about are totally normal postpartum experiences and don't mean your relationship is broken. But if either of you feels persistent sadness, hopelessness, or emotions that go way beyond normal stress, please reach out to a counselor or midwife. You shouldn't go through that alone. The big thing to remember here is that relationship distance after a baby isn't permanent or a sign of a deep-seated issue. It's a tough, often silent part of parenthood that, like all phases, will pass. During this time, be patient with each other. Talk about the small stuff instead of letting it fester. Cherish even tiny moments of connection. They really add up. On those extra tough nights, when both of you are feeling stressed, studies show that lullabies can soothe infants. We offer calming lullabies specifically designed for these circumstances, and you can find a link in the description if you're interested. Please consider liking and subscribing to the channel to help more parents find these insights and keep their connections strong after childbirth.